Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today I am starting the 100-day project. I did start this on February 22nd. I actually started it the day before. This first one was a practice one. I guess that's weird. I don't know. I wanted to see how long it would take me to do like a little landscape collage thing to see if it was feasible to do every day for 100 days. And as of this editing of this video, I'm behind. Just by a day. So I'll have to do 2 tomorrow anyway. But they're fairly quick if I can come up with a landscape that I want to do. I've been using ones off of my phone and kind of stylizing them. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. This first one I filmed it on my phone. I was thinking I would try and do a short, but I can't get it short enough without speeding it and being all jumpy and weird. So yeah, this was my practice round. So this is project 0, day 0, but I'm counting this as day 1. Why not? So this is actually kind of a stylized picture outside of my house towards the mountains. And yeah, I just thought it would be fun to do. So this is Timpanogos, Mount Timpanogos, as viewed from American Fork. Anyway, I think about every one of them is going to have a little stabilo on there just to create some shading, because I do like a little bit more of the shadowy and depth when I'm doing like scenery and landscapes. So, and I'm sorry if this is like off to the side. It was done on my phone and I didn't do a very good job of lining that up, and I was not looking the whole time through the phone. So yeah, just adding a little pen to make it look like branches in those trees. And that's day number 1. I like it. It's got potential. Okay, so now day number 2, I was looking at my pictures, and I back in November I had gone to Australia, and in Brisbane there was a garden there, and we were just like on the street near it, and there was this really pretty tree with these purple blossoms on it, and I can't think of what it was, so I took a picture of the tree, though it was in the middle of the city. The garden was hidden. You couldn't really see the garden from where I was in my car, in the driver's seat of the car, driving. Well, I was stopped at a light, I think. Anyway, so this one is inspired by that tree, the picture of that tree. And I thought this piece of paper with the purpley paint on it made a perfect tree. And I am just using leftover scraps. Like I've got a little book page on there, some jelly prints, some clean off papers, and eventually I've got scrapbook paper on one that I created, and on the next one actually, and I think also on the next one I have paint samples. So it's free reign. Whatever works to fill the bill is going on these, and they are pretty small, so I'm sorry it's a little small. The white card they're on is 4x4, so they're approximately 3x3 inches. It's really hard to do like trees and like small trees and small objects on such a small space. And this one I'm just adding different layers to make it interesting. I don't know what else to say. I like the torn look, so I am tearing all the edges. Some are a little more square than others. I think there's one day I do that the side is like really wonky, but I try. And this is a piece of deli paper, I think, that just had this like interesting crackly, and you know, some of my favorite colors on there. That turquoisey blue. I'm just trying to fill up the white spots now. I figured the more squarish ones would work on this one, because it really was a city back there in the background, even though you can't see it. And I decided I could make some long, tall trees, bushes, to add something to this one. I felt like it needed a little something. So, have any of you decided to do the 100-day project? I know it's now, March, but who says you have to start it on the day they say? I technically I did, but I didn't pre-do it, so they're not. I'm not uploading every day because that's just too much work. That would be a lot of work. Now, if I'd have been able to figure out how to get my phone to do it and look nice in really short segments, I might have done it from my phone. But I just couldn't figure out a good way to do that. So I do have a few video shorts out there, but they get a few views. But it all depends on what time of day you post your short, on whether or not it's going to get viewed at all. And I don't think I have that mastered yet. This morning I was like in the mood. It was 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Not the best time to post. I probably should have scheduled it for some time, but I just posted it. Why not? It got 4 views in like 2 hours. I think it's got a few more now, but yeah. Not the right time of day, for sure. Especially on a Sunday. So here I'm just adding branches, giving the tree a trunk. Trying to make it look like it's a tree. And I can't remember what type of pen this is. I think it's just like a Uniball type pen. It's like really juicy gel pen that you can buy at any store, basically. Yeah, and you have to hold it at the right angle to be able to see any of that. Just giving it some ground to be standing on, a little bit of shading. And there we go. Calling that one day 2. So this one's day 3. This one's got scrapbook paper and paint chips. Like this thing I'm tearing right now is a paint chip. And it's not quite wide enough, so it's going to have to be pieced a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, and this one I think I end up using paint as well. And this paper was a little bit stiffer, so it's got to be regular glue instead of glue stick, for sure. Now this one is inspired by my backyard. It had snowed that day, So I felt like snow was appropriate. So that's why I've got the kind of blue-gray. Thinking of this color as being the paint color in my bathroom. I think it's too dark. Too blue. Maybe just an accent wall. Anyways, I don't know. I'll have to like watch this video over and look at the color number closer so I can remember what color that was, because now I've torn it up and used it. And then this is a piece of scrapbook paper. And there's a fence in the far distance in my backyard, so a chain link. And so I figured this would represent the chain link fence. And again, got to use the glue because it is cardstock weight. You know, they say you shouldn't center everything. That fence is fairly centered, but tree, I'm going to put a tree in the front. That will probably be a little centered too. This one, is this as heavy? This is another piece of scrapbook paper. More blue. But it had little white spots on it, so I figured it would look like snow. Snow-covered ground. If you are doing the 100-day project, let me know what you're doing. What have you decided to do this year? I think last year I did collages too, but they were like incorporate a piece of nature. This year it's landscapes. Who knows if I'll make it to do the 100-day project next year. Cross that bridge when we come to it, right? I haven't even made it through this one. What are we on? Day... what are we on? Day 10, 11? As I'm editing this. So there's some bushes out there, covered mostly in snow, so that's what these little quarter of a circle represent. Bushes. This particular page has a lot of cardstock. And this is going to be my tree. This particular tree is more dead than alive in my backyard. It's an old peach tree. And should probably come down. I have several, so it won't really be missed. But I think it got peach borer or something. It's slowly been dying, and I don't think there's anything left of it. Probably won't even get leaves in the spring this year. But it's been around a long time. It's had a long life. I think my dad planted them when he built, like after he built the house. So in the early 90s. I don't know how long fruit trees are supposed to last. I have 3 or 4 other ones. So I have plenty of peaches. So I'm using this Faber-Castell pen, and it's not giving me the white I want. It's so we're going to add some paint. And I decided to do like a palette knife and kind of get it dimensional and frosty looking. And putting some snow on the ground. I think I put snow on the bushes and on the fence and on the tree. Just everywhere. Because it had snowed pretty good that day. And that hides the top of the tree. It can look like there was lots of branches. Well, there are a lot of branches that I didn't draw in the tree. Now I'm just taking that pen and kind of creating a little bit of shading. And some twigs in my bushes. Trying to decide what it needs. Just highlighting the back fence line. Scribbling a little bit more. I shouldn't be doing that on wet paint. I did not allow it to dry. Now it's dry, and I'm taking the Stabilo and I'm going to do some more. Give it some real shading and some branches. I don't know if you can kind of hear the dogs barking in the background, but I'll include a picture of the tree and maybe a picture of them if I can find one. So you can see who's making the noise in the background. So I'm going to activate the Stabilo with some gel medium just because I want it to be permanent and not have to worry about it later. In later ones that I make, I don't do this. I just do water. But at the time, I was thinking it needed to be permanent, but it's not like I'm going to do anything to it after this, so probably wasn't necessary. But I do want that contrast. I know you kind of need contrast to make your the lights and the darks to make your image interesting. I still have a hard time with that, getting it the right proportion or whatever, but hey, this is a good way to practice, right? So here I'm taking out some more white paint and gonna really fill that in because I don't like how the branches look. And I think I cover up that little spot at the top that's sort of sticking out with some white paint. Maybe you don't see it. Maybe I don't do it on camera. I don't remember. But yeah. So I hope you're enjoying these. I hope you want to see my 100 days because I got a lot more coming. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. Have an awesome day.